Hey, what's up everyone? This is Mr. GWS, and as you all know, a few hours later, a few hours before that, the OnePlus 6 has already announced, and the specs wise is what you expect from the flagship phone, and unfortunately, really, there's a notch. I know there's a lot of people hate the notch, but I'm not. I'm not really so-called hate the notch. I think it doesn't utilize the notch properly. Yeah, even though some is can hide it and some can use it as a multitask, like quick shortcuts or whatsoever. But this one, I'm not really that excited to see new OnePlus 6 besides the camera, but I think it's more or less alright. So let's look down the specs. Yes, this is from the Android Central article, but it's talk about the specs wise. Yes, it runs Android 8.1 Oreo with Oxygen OS, there's no surprise. And we see the 6.2-inch OLED AMOLED display. Yeah, it's called AMOLED, not OLED. It's a 19:9 this time compared to 18:9 from the OnePlus 5T. And Corning Gorilla Glass 5 is this time is on the front and the back, because I think the previous generation is on the front and the back is a metal design, but this time the OnePlus 6 is using both material glass, which is I think kind of nowadays is more or less a premium material. Even though this phone doesn't have wireless charging, I don't worry about that, because wireless charging, I think when you just charge, right, just put there is yes is but the trade-off is convenience over charging speed, because wireless charging speed is slow. Even with the fast wireless charging is still not as fast as this one. Here's me. And yeah, we kind of expect is Snapdragon 845. And storage wise, it's 6 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of storage, but the 128 and 256 gigs is on with 8 gigs of RAM. And of course, the color wise, only mirror black is both 64 and 128, and midnight black is 128 256 gigs. Which is I think the color choice is okay, just that it skips between which color and which color, like between the storage, which I don't think is really wise choice to have that. I rather they all comes with all colors with all the storage wise respectively. I think that would be even better. Of course, no SD card available, which is no surprise. And let's see, yeah, the camera is one of the biggest selling point now, because the OnePlus 5T also using the same 16 and 20 megapixel, just like on the OnePlus 6, but this time on the OnePlus 6 it uses the new IMX 519, which also used on the Oppo R15 and R15 Pro, and the micron pixels has boost to 1.22 instead of 1.12. And it also added the optical stabilization together with electronic stabilization. Of course, dual LED flash also added as well. And of course, the second rear camera, the 20 megapixel, is still the same sensor from the OnePlus 5T, the IMX 376K, 1 micron f1.7. But I think another big difference is compared to OnePlus 6 is OnePlus 6 can record 4K at 60 frames per second, which makes the second Android smartphone to have that, besides the S9 and S9 Plus. Or you can just call third phone or second phone, even though S9 and S9 Plus is more or less very similar. But yeah, it's more or less a second phone. But I'm not very sure whether they also have that limit to record up to 5 minutes, because I think Android, the ecosystem now is great as iOS, because iPhone 8 and iPhone 10, I think they have unlimited recording times at 4K 60 fps. Just that also means you can record as long as you want, as long as the storage is more available, because no, their phone also don't have micro SD card as well, no surprise. And another big draw point is the slow motion video at 48 frames per second, 720p. Even though not as good as 960p, but I think 960p, I would say it's only useful when you shoot with with liquids like water, like juice, like speed up all those juice, and or even rain. I think that might work with 960 frames, but I think if those street racing ones, I think 40 frames is just fine. Of course, the front camera is the same 16 megapixel IMX371, the same camera, the same front-facing camera as the OnePlus 5T, and of course 1080p 30 frames per second video. Of course, and I think some of the things it's still the same as the OnePlus 5T. You still have the same 3300 mAh battery, the same USB-C with dash charging, the same bottom mono mounted speaker, and also the headphone jack. And another thing, there's a splash resistance even though there's no IP rating whatsoever. Of course, it also has a fingerprint scanner, a face unlock. I think another thing about the OnePlus 5T is the face unlock. When doing at night, it will blow up the flash, the software flash, and when you unlock, it won't be so inconvenient. I think OnePlus did a very good job on that, and I more or less hope OnePlus 6 is also there as well. Of course, all the Wi-Fi connectivity is all there, NFC, high-res audio, Bluetooth 5.0, all the bands available. And of course, I think this one is slightly heavier than the OnePlus 5T, because I think OnePlus 5T to me, right, when I hold it on my hand, it felt much lighter. And I think the 5T will be more lighter phone than the 6, because 6 I think is slightly bigger this time compared to the 5T. And as for the price, I think it might just went up a bit. I think the highest one is $629, which is all three phones already gone over $500 range now, because when the first OnePlus came out, it's a very cheap phone, like 300, I think 200, $300 if I'm not wrong. But this time they make it much more branded one now. And it goes all the way up to $600 US, in US currency, by the way. But I still yet to confirm whether Singapore, they will have the new Avengers edition, or because right now Singapore is still doesn't have, even though they have their own Facebook page now, and they also have their own pricing now, because I think OnePlus 5T came out a bit too late when it comes to local warranty. But I hope the 6 will be released as fast as it could, like the local sets. Yeah, sorry for my mispronunciation. Yeah, so keep a lookout for it, and that's all I have to say. If you like this video, comment and subscribe to my channel, Mr. GWS, and follow me on my Facebook and my YouTube page. And as always, I will see you on the next video.